Hello everybody, my name is Elenator and welcome back to Ultimate Minecraft Polyworld episode 469. We have trees to chop as we try to wrap up as much as we can today because I want to finish the shelves and I probably would rather do that over digging the hole. I'll just dig the hole on my own time. At least tree chopping is slightly more interesting than going layer by layer by layer. Stone block after stone block after stone block. Oh, look, iron. Howdy, Shady, welcome back. Howdy, Paul, as well. There are plenty of trees to chop. We'll see how far we get. Based on how much wood I've collected so far, hopefully we don't run out of time before the inventory fills up. I guess that means placing down chests will probably be something I do on my own time then. Alright, I'm trying to think, how far do I need to go? There's no good defining area. It's just a huge tract of land. Running out of howdies? How do you run out of howdies? Running out of opportunities to say howdy. What are we doing? 1631. I'll be fine. I have plenty of durability on here, plus some breaking 3. What do I feel like, though? I spent a bunch of sand recently. Maybe not, maybe I only collected sand. Perhaps that's something else I'll need to do on my own time. I needed a bunch of glass for my snow globe, even though it doesn't really look like a snow globe. Oh well. You cannot simply stack sphere, or you cannot stack circles to make a sphere. It doesn't work like that. We'll see next stream. Here's a question. When do you think the next stream is? If you think tomorrow, you'd be mistaken. Does that mean you're running out of summer break? Howdy potato. Stacking circles did not make a cylinder. You're right, stacking circles made a cylinder. It did not make a sphere. But I meant the circles of different sizes. Because to make a sphere, not every slice is a circle. There's no stream tomorrow because it's moved to next week to end the part 4. Surely I'll figure out something to do within a week. Probably. I'll figure it out. Or I don't figure it out, and the day arrives and said, well, let's just start doing something. Hopefully like the end of part 3 where I build something interesting. But I gotta finish what I'm currently in the middle of. I'm in the middle of all these shelves. I need more wood, therefore we're tree chopping. At first I thought there was a dark oak log and thought, there's no way this is dark oak already. Disco Mountains are right here. I don't know how far this goes, but at some point we'll start seeing the other tree type. And howdy, Koski, welcome back. Got the bed on me, yep. It'll be time soon. Time soon to reset the weather timer. This is not the final day. This is in preparation for next week's final day. So no stream until the end of next week. After today, I should say. I should promote the calendar more. I put the calendar together and people still ask me about what the stream schedule is. Alright, let me put away all the complete stacks. And all saplings. And boop, alright. Where's my bed? And now the Zella moon rises. I'm also hopefully gonna finish the resource pack by next week. At last. I was working on the armor textures yesterday and today. We're making good progress. Difficult part is trying to figure out what details to include because unlike the tools that are relatively thin on the surface area, the armor chest plate and the leggings are rather large when it comes to how much space needs to be filled in. And so I'm trying to get the details to feel consistent with how the tools are designed. I'm still trying to figure out how to have it look. The boots I'm happy with, for the most part. I'm currently about 80% done with the leggings. And then once I get the base design all set up, then I'm just gonna attach the gears, animate them, and hooray. Of course, we're just gonna copy and paste the same gears we use on the tools. And sword. Sword's not a tool. I hear trash man. Today's trash day. I already got one of the cans this morning. 2 more to go. I'd have to really listen though to tell if it's going left to right or right to left, and that'll determine whether or not it's on my side of the street or not. Oh, that's a stack of sticks. There's also a thinking about it because earlier this morning there's a decent sized earthquake that happened. Not too bad. Definitely on the larger of what is average. And then I think there's a little aftershock not too long afterward. And it got me thinking because turns out over farther on the coast there was tsunami warning. There's only been a couple days or so. I don't know if anything's ever happened. However, might be related. I haven't looked too deeply into it. It's just whatever happened to be seen. I'm waiting though. I'm waiting to see if we get a big coastal flooding. We shall see whatever comes of it, as that was already a couple days ago. And so since I've not looked into any of the aftermath of that since, I'm still waiting around to see what comes next. Nom, 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 nom. I'm sure I'll have plenty of bacon to survive this trip. Most likely. If I had enough bacon while I was running around at my outpost. That's not true, I did not have enough bacon at my outpost. I ran out of cooked bacon twice. Thankfully, I prepared in advance and got my pig farm going by the time I really needed the bacon. Oh, I see all these saplings over here. The saplings continue. And sticks. Eventually, I'll need all these sticks. We'll see if I end up spending time as well before next week working on planting more torches. Well, words being filtered? I don't know. Howdy Ian, welcome back. Today's the last normal day before the big finale for part 4, where I figure out what comes next. And then I wait around and see if my channel's affected by the identification required here on the tube for channels. So since that's happening after the end of UMP Part 4, I'll have about 3 weeks to figure out on my own time whether or not I'm going to have to change anything. I saw the YouTube article posted, I think it was 2 days ago. And so I'm waiting around and see what'll happen. One day, I'll fork over the money. There's a long list of stuff that requires funding first, though, of which current income has been 0. That lines up with the end of July, the last normal day. Things worked out as I intended. Or I should say, if things had worked out the way my original version planning was going, today's stream would have been next Thursday, and then we would have just jumped into the finale. Yeah, tomorrow's August 1st. But if I survive August here on the tube, and I make it to September 1st, we're starting a new series. Well, I should say we're continuing through the Android Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. I also finally, after talking about it for a couple weeks, I finally wrote down all the series I've had since starting UMP. It really wasn't that many. It just feels long because I think it was Modded Super Flat Survival and Let's Play and Stuff Plus. Both ran for 100-something episodes. So it just feels like a lot of time has passed. When in reality, it really hasn't been that many. Through the Android had 40 episodes. Across the 360 had 80. Into the 3DS had 10 plus a couple extra bonus videos. VR Experiment was, I think, 30. I can't remember. I do still need to finish that. That was never a series, though. That's on the to-do list for my break time during August. I think I have 3 or 4 things currently on there. I don't know when the download for the world's going public because I don't have 800 more gigabytes of cloud storage right now. If I were to just have the UMP archive on my drive and nothing else, that'd still be using up 1.8 terabytes out of the 2 I have available. And I can assure you, I'm already at about 1.9 terabytes total used. Gmail and Drive keep warning me that I'm almost out of storage. And there goes the sun again. A couple more trees. It'll be time to sleep. Also gonna toss that there. +1 inventory slot. Some days I miss Mine and Blade Battle Gear 2. No, Mine and Blade Battle Gear 1 initially. And then the feature was carried over to 2. Anyways, I missed Mine and Blade Battle Gear because you had +6 slots. Because dual wielding gave you three slots for each hand. So when you would scroll between those 3. Of course, the original versions, I'm pretty sure, for either beta 1.8 or release 1.0, whenever the mod was first released, only had +1 slot. So you'd press a button, switch to your offhands, or I should say switch to two-handed mode. And so you would only have a slot for the left and a slot for the right. And then a few updates later, by the time the 1.2 Minecraft 1.2 release rolled around, it was upgraded from 1 slot per hand to 3 slots. And so you had your full inventory +6 slots. I've tried looking around for old versions of the mod. I was never able to find any when I last looked. Only found the latest versions for 1.2. Internet's already started to become a battleground. That's another stack of sticks. And how about we slide these down? And soon, the logs will fill up. There was a tiny Zelamoon. I'm pretty sure that was the smallest. You're to line with the night before. Hello, Enderman. You're to line with the night before being the largest. I saw you. Where'd you go? Think he's gonna come back to attack, or do you think he'll end up burning and I never see him again? The internet's gonna do the same thing that happens every time. Every time some big tragedy strikes the world, people are gonna meme it. The Enderman was holding dirt. At least I think that was dirt. He's not the Enderman that stole the wood. Oh wait, wasn't it Steve that ended up stealing that villager's wood? For those who watched 500 chunks, where'd my wood go? The old 2014, I think, Element Animation music video. The parody of 500 Miles. I can't remember, but eventually that tied into an Egg's Guide to Minecraft. I wonder if all those episodes are still around. I remember many years ago when I finally got around to watching an Egg's Guide to Minecraft. Those were the days. That probably would have been 2015 or 16 for me when I took the time to catch up. Maybe as late as 2018. I want to say, though, the voice actor who played Steve passed away. I can't remember. Alright, I feel like left would probably be more opportune. Thinking large scale, trying to meet up with the area I was chopping before. Are those chunks not loaded? Wonder if there's a simulation distance button, but I feel like that was added in 1.18. Or it wasn't a button, it was a slider. That's another stack of saplings. Nom, 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 nom. The voice actor, one of the voice actors who worked for Element Animations passed away. Sounds like you tried to send a message and YouTube didn't let it through. At this point, not much else for me to do. You know what it feels like? It feels like the never-ending trees, because no matter how much progress you make, there are still countless trees more to go. So what will I do? I'm gonna keep doing what I usually do, enjoying my summer break. Playing video games, trying to watch Power Rangers. Hello, green bean alert. I'll try to keep making videos here on the tube. If I have difficulty though, then we'll see. We'll see how September happens. Because who knows? There's been a lot of internet difficulties recently. Like literally burning. Keep doing what I usually do. Stay home and watch out the window. What response are you anticipating from me? Should I try to adjust my lifestyle based on the current changes in world circumstances? They're gonna keep changing. Well, I don't know what you're getting at, if you mean it figuratively or literally. If society collapses and we enter a post-apocalyptic mode, I'm probably gonna stop making videos and focus on survival. But like, I don't feel like that's the answer you were expecting. Oh, that was the answer you were expecting. We'll figure it out if it happens. Y'all ever watch Doomsday Preppers? That was a pretty fun show. We would not last very long over here, though. We'll see. I don't currently have a plan. My dad's a pilot for small aircraft, though. So, if we don't have any other options, we just start flying out to the middle of nowhere. Why would anyone target the middle of nowhere? If something bad's gonna happen, big cities are gonna be targeted. LA, San Francisco, New York. Alright, I'm thinking... Keep trying to go this way. So many trees, it's hard to choose which one to chop next. Why would they target the middle of nowhere, though? That would be based on the assumption that there would be people there. Otherwise, what's the point of doing land damage if there's nothing of value being destroyed? You know how expensive these heavy duty weapons are? I don't, because I never looked into it. But I'm sure they're very expensive. No, when the shulkers are full, I'm heading back. We're gonna go back to Zelene Co. Turn this wood into chests. House where? House there. I'll head back over their house. Terrible puns every day. Unfortunately, I can't slap on that edited tag on here like I can on Discord. Sadness. We have learned, as stated weeks ago, that the P in UMP stands for a lot of stuff. Alright, so yeah, that one's already full. In fact, if this one's full, I should keep it in my inventory. That way I already have the slot dedicated. Those are all full. And we're getting there. In fact, how about I just move this forward? You see all this grass here? This all used to be dark oak forest. It's all gone now. It feels like I haven't moved very far. Oh well. One tree at a time. It was 1.17.1, there never was a 1.17.2. Unless someone made a mod called 1.17.2. You know how people used to make mods of versions that never existed? Like Alpha 1.1.3 or some other infdev. I'm trying to remember, there was one for infdev and I can't remember what number it used. Anyways, 1.1.3 was the first version of N3S, which made it all the way to 1.1.11, I think. I don't know, I haven't kept up on the mod development for years. And I was about to say, where's my bed? And then I realized I had it on me. Oop. Hello, Zellamoon as it rises. Oops. Alright, back to chopping. 1.17.2 was indeed the message I last responded to. I don't think someone's made a mod of 1.17.2. Live check. We can't hear the game? That's a problem with multi-MC. I don't know how to fix it because most of the versions I've been playing after 1.11, the game itself doesn't know how to play the audio. I was sad because it used to work, and then it didn't, and then it worked again, and then it didn't. The game audio hasn't been playing since 1.16, and I don't know what the dealio is. Well, here, I should probably... Whoop. Hello. Surprise, green bean. People use Prism a lot. I never got around to installing it. I was supposed to make a official blog report for multi-MC. I just haven't done that either. I've been doing other stuff. I think what's happened with multi-MC is it's become less maintained over time. I don't know who the active developers were of a few years ago. Because one thing's for sure, updates have slowed down tremendously. The problem is not that I started in the old world, because I made a brand new instance in 1.17.1, thinking about if the instance had an issue. And so a brand new, fresh 1.17.1 instance did not play the sound. It's something with multi-MC itself. Because otherwise, I would have transferred my stuff over. I would have copied the world over, or copied the settings, so that way sounds function. It'd be cool if I could get this figured out before next week. Maybe I'll try looking into the settings and see where it's trying to pull the resources from. I did remove the resource pack in the brand new multi-MC instance for 1.17 as a fresh vanilla install. And at the same area, whenever you launch the game, you get spammed with missing sound events. And if you look at the resource packs list, it says broken assets detected. So it's not downloading the assets the way it's supposed to. Or I should say it's not loading them correctly, because the resource files, the sound files, are still there, but I feel like it's trying to re-download, and that's not working out as it's intended. It's failing to verify the sounds already here because it can't access the sounds on the server itself. Oh wait, that's another stack of saplings. Was that the last lot in the shulker box? Yes, it was. Oh well, it doesn't matter. That one's full anyway. Alright, cool. We're nearing the end here. I just have to fill up my inventory, and then we can leave. We'll see how many saplings and sticks we end up leaving in digital purgatory, though. Because I don't expect to be back here. The AT launchers for mods and stuff. I know you could set up a vanilla instance on there. It doesn't keep track of playtime, nor does it have easy multi-instance setup. It keeps the mods separated. I haven't used the AT launcher in a long time, so for all I know, it changed in the last decade. I feel like that was one of the ones I wasn't a big fan of. The only modded launcher that I would continuously go back to whenever I felt like it was the Technic launcher. Because I've also tried, was it the Obsidian launcher? Maybe it wasn't. I want to say there's a dedicated launcher for Crazy Craft 3 however many years ago. Unless that was AT launcher. There was also, trying to remember, because I used to have 3 different modded launchers. AT launcher, Technic, and one more. Oh well, can't remember. I'm waiting around for more of this stuff to decay, but I think I'll need to run on top of the trees to get the last of it. Hooray for these leaves, though. There's a video, and I can't remember which channel it was on, but I last saw it a long time ago. There's a video that was, I think, Jungle Parkour. Oh, you know what? I think it was on Fantabulous. I think Fantabulous had that video on his channel, and I was looking at his music videos recently, which is when I saw it again. I didn't watch the video, but I saw it on the list and thought, hey, I remember watching this. Alright, well, by the way, we have more tree chopping to do. I probably should have waited a little longer before running across the tops. Oh, it's only been half an hour, though. But if we're almost done, that means we have plenty of time to head home and turn these into chests. Unless looking at my axe durability, unless there would be a better decision to head to the Enderman farm after this. One of these days, I should try to find the farthest stronghold relative to this area. I feel like that's gonna have to load new chunks, though. So if that occurs, it would be better to just wait until later. The stronghold I have works fine enough. Oh, you know what? There was an area, though, that I kind of forgot about that I think I should try to load. I used to have music way back when this series first started, because on the version I started playing, there wasn't music. There wasn't any sort of audio playing. And so I used to have music that I created for various other projects. It only lasted for a couple of weeks, though. Very quickly, the game had audio. Party Potato, and so that's what I used. And all went fine for years. 3 years went by, then 2024 rolls around, and sad times. As I realize, there's a bug. I haven't figured out the solution yet. That'll be for later, even though there's not going to be much later left. Yeah, I'll figure something out. My plan was, since this problem has been going on for a while now, the plan was to work on more dedicated stream music. I never got around to doing that, though, because I was working on music for my most recent game. And so, as working on music is tiring, I decide I'll just wait. We'll see how things go next time. But thankfully, I for sure am not going to have any audio issues for the next series, as that's an entirely different setup, independent of multi-MC. So, Party Potato, that won't be a problem. Howdy howdy, why's the version number gone? Because I was in 1.17.1 yesterday, and I'm in 1.17.1 today. Not tomorrow, the next time, the next stream, will have a separate label. Most likely. That one will have a unique label as part of the episode number. Should say as part of the video title. And whoop. Any not spoken problems about having a world? When you say progressive, upgrading through the old versions, what version are you going to start on? Because I don't know how many not spoken problems are still around, but I can tell you the stuff I've had to deal with. It'll depend on when you start, though, and what your plan is. Alright, I think we're gonna hope my mouse is done charging. Light turned off. Alright, probably just a few more trees left, since we're about to reach another stack of sticks. In fact, I'll probably do this last tree here, and then this will mark the end of this area. Then we'll pack up and go home. And I have both shulker boxes on me, that means the inventory slot's already been allocated. So is this tree gone, we'll stick around a little bit and let the leaves start decaying. I could use all the sticks if I want to try lighting up much more of the world by next time. We have a minor problem though. I don't have a way to get on top of the mushy. Oop. Island and Hell were in dev. Classic was, for the most part, creative only. Otherwise, there were world options, but the only thing you could control in Classic was world size. Small, normal, and huge. There was survival test, but that's not the same as the survival mode we got in dev, which was expanded in InfDev. I guess the proper survival from the start of InDev to the end of InfDev is more different than the start of InDev to the start of InDev to the end of InDev is a bigger change than the start of InfDev to the end of InfDev. Anyways, we are looking for more of this stuff. I have the urge to just take the flint and steel and run around, but the problem is if I were to do that, I'd lose out on wood that I would probably need later. This is going to be my primary source of wood for everything that's not oak. I have all my spruce here, but if I keep going farther, I'll end up with dark oak. I just don't know how far I have to travel in here. If you're starting an InDev, do you plan on only having one world as you upgrade through the versions, or do you plan on having different worlds with different types? It's probably be the last sapling. I think it's all safe to head out. I don't see any other items sitting on the ground. Nothing else here. We should be good to make a return. And huddling. And now we sit and we wait. Boats make sounds in modern Minecraft, right? I'm used to them not making splash sounds. I think that was changed though. There's a lot of stuff in Minecraft that was silent that eventually received sounds. Minecarts, climbing ladder, using buckets, all that jazz. The difference in having various worlds is you get more free stuff when you start out, because when you play the versions that have the spawn chests, that's more stuff. Also, if you started an the earliest version of InDev that saves, you're not going to get any diamonds because diamonds were added a couple versions later. So if you only stuck to one world type, you'd lose out on that. It depends on what your goal is for the world, or worlds, plural. See you later, giant pencil. Oh, hold on. I'm not going this way. I have a portal. Just kidding. Giant pencil, I'm coming back. I totally forgot I don't have to boat all the way over back to the swamp. I'm not getting there for InfDev yet. We're focusing on InDev. You started in 327 to use tools. Or without using any tools. Sad times. InDev is an experience. I can't say it's long lasting though. I wonder what the longest running InDev world currently is though. Wonder if someone's had one going for several years. I feel like what'll end up happening is they would just dig out the entirety of the world and have all their structures floating. Someone was trying to dig out an entire end-of world a couple of years ago. One of my stream viewers. I can't remember who that was though, or if they kept going. The only blocks you lose out of 1.8, if you properly clean up the world beforehand, the only blocks you'll lose were the illegal stuff. Boop. We're not going back that way. Oh, hello, Roofed Forest. It's been so long since I last saw you. You know what, here, we'll keep the boat there because I'll need it for the ice highway. But we, last time, made a portal. We're going to go back to that portal because traveling through the nether is going to be 8 times faster than trying to go home. Even more if I get back to the highway. If you're trying to go for historical progression, then it would be better to have multiple endev worlds. The reason for that is there will be variations as time passes. 1.9 did something with potions, but that's not a block. Alright, let's see, where's the portal? Alright. Was it there? There it is. See, this is gonna be so much faster than if I went all the way back to the swamp. And doink. Alright, question is though, where does this end up? Alright, let's see if we can make it back to the other portal, because I don't remember exactly where it is. Thankfully, I can see. I can see now. Okay, I need to go this way. I'm getting hungry already. Nom 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 nom. Probably just gonna hop right over you real fast. If I could find access to open nether this way, we should be all set. If I could start seeing the cobblestone lines, which I do, portal is just about straight this way. That might be too low. If all goes well, I should be able to jump off this, but we should be good. 1.8, I should say, once you make it to InfDev, you won't need... that's not true. Once you make it to InfDev, things are easier. I was going to say you won't need any extra tools, but that's not true. So going everything before InfDev is where the difficult portion lies. But then after that, release 1.8 is a big problem version because it deletes all blocks that had improper block states. Anything not valid. 1.13 is also a problematic version because it likes deleting chunks based on, we believe, deleting based on the amount of time spent there. Once you get past 1.13, things improve. 1.18 isn't an issue. It just depends on how badly you want to get early terrain types. That's a question. Do you plan on only playing full versions or snapshots? Because if you go through snapshots, there's going to be a problem around every corner. And now we row. I'll need to check what my render distance is after this. I feel like it's already still at 12. The Discontinued Features Wiki is a great resource for the dangerous versions listed on there. Nearly every problem you're going to find is going to be there. Most of the solutions are listed. Not everything for 1.13, I believe, but I haven't looked when it was last updated. I don't know what epilepsy problem you're referring to in 1.1.1. It's just a blank gray screen. Hooray, notch code. I'm pretty sure if you really wanted, you could disable the fix in Betacraft. It also depends on what you use for your graphics, though, because not every graphics card was affected by it, or internal graphics. Avoiding snapshots is a smart way to go about it. I avoided snapshots on here as well, and also because that would have really slowed down the series. Pretty soon here, we should see. Yeah, there are a few snapshots utilized for specific versions. I think I've done 4 of them over the span of the series so far. 11W49A, 13W36A, whatever that 1.15 one was, and then the recent 1.17 snapshot. If Grandpa Buggy plays every single snapshot, there it is. First, it's gonna take him forever by the time he tries getting to the 1.6 era, because there's already gonna be a lot of snapshots by that point. But otherwise, if you were to play every single snapshot, there are many that are fundamentally broken, and they will cause big problems. I already mentioned 11W49A snapshot. That was the first one. I counted on my fingers, because there have only been 4 that I remember. He does every single snapshot that has something significant. I don't think he'll do every single snapshot on one world, though. And am I missing a torch here? I feel like I was. I don't know where else that spider would have come from. Grandpa Buggy in 1.8? I'm gonna be an old man by that time. And he's gonna be an even older man. I wonder if he's gonna end up retiring from making videos before the journey completes. You don't need to do a world in every single endev. It's only recommended to do a world in the different types. Or I should say, I only recommend doing a world in different types of endev worlds. There we go. That's probably the best way to put it. I'm also going to leave that there and go pick up the spider loot. And then over the next few minutes, we're going to have to sort everything. Family heirloom. I think he's going to pass down his world in a series to future generations. I think I've caught up. If he posted a video last week or the week before, then I've all caught up. Alright, toss all that. I'll take all those sticks. Alright, we're just gonna leave that one full of logs. We're taking it with us. But I need all these saplings. Alright, 1, 2, 3.5. Then plus 6, plus 6. Has it really been that long since I've gone tree chopping again? At least these dark oak trees all drop regular oak saplings. Well, I have some beetroot seeds here. I wonder if I should go work on the farm. Maybe later. The project I'm currently working on is a building called Zelenaco. It's designed on a real-life Costco, except Zelenator's Costco. So that's what's currently in the works. That's what all this wood's needed for. I'll be getting to it soon. I'm just currently sorting all my stuff before I head back over there. We'll also be passing by the Enderman farm real fast. Hopefully 10 or 15 minutes I'll be back. Volume Alpha went into the Library of Congress this year, right? Earlier this year. Because I remember him saying something about that. Totally makes sense. I'm still sad though. One of these days, I'm waiting for the big announcement that C418 finally figured something out with Mojang and Microsoft, and at long last he gets to release his third volume. That would make me happy. Because he's had it for years, and it's been finished for years, I believe. He had an interview, I think 2020 or 2021, where he last mentioned, or I last remember him mentioning it. And apples. Hodoink. Alright, cool. That one's all good. This one's all good. So we're going to pack these up and then head to the end real fast. And I think, no, this would take too long. I'll just, I guess, leave my bed over here. Boop. That's going to be the respawn point when I pop out of the end. Gamma comes after beta. It's alpha, beta, gamma. There's a chart. There's a chart that used the Greek letters, and I thought to myself, why'd they skip gamma? It's been a while since I last used Windows 95. I have a Windows 95 laptop that I think I booted up once. I was gifted it as a graduation gift. I feel like it would be volume gamma. That's what I would prefer. Of course, I doubt he'll ever make any more. What would it take to convince Mojang that, or Mojang and Microsoft, to convince Mojang that C418 should return and make more music for Minecraft? I graduated several years ago because it was my media teacher. Don't worry, I can guarantee I did not graduate in the late 90s. When I was for my media teacher, he knew I liked old tech and stuff. Don't worry, I can assure you, it was very outdated. I'm in 1.17 because I slowly update through the versions, and this is the version I'm currently on. This will be the last version we play, though, before UMP goes on break. Because I started UMP Part 4 after a long break all the way back in September of last year. And so I went from 1.7 to 1.17. That felt like a good time in versions. And so at one version a day, I need a sword. At one version a day, 1.17 is the version we're finally reached. For the most part. Well, hey, good job me with the past leaving this year. You should totally send the storm this way. We could use the rain. Thankfully, I don't have to turn down my audio for all the Endermen like I normally do. I don't know when I'll get back to any of the old hardware I have over here. I've been wanting to play Godzilla again, Godzilla Total Destruction for the Wii, but I haven't done that yet because I lost it. I have my Wii set up. I was playing on it a few weeks ago. No longer than that. I think a few months ago. Earlier this year, I played through Spore Hero again. That was a great time. Except every once in a while, after I think it was about 2 hours of gameplay, the Wii remote would lose tracking, and I don't know what the dealio is. I would not. It's totally possible to make the items in my hand 2D. You just have to change the model. I don't know how to do that, but I know it's possible to change the item rendering model. But no, I would not do that. I don't need to relive Indo that badly. I'd prefer the current 3D version. It wouldn't bob the same way though. I don't think. I think the animation will look different. This channel feels like old internet. I feel like I did not experience or remember enough of old internet. Because it wouldn't be until around 2013 or 2012 or so. You don't know it was 2013 when I started spending more time online. Most of the internet has turned bad because it's easier for chaos than it is for order to exist. I wonder if the reason why my content feels like early 2010s is because the content I started out watching on YouTube, the Minecraft videos and whatnot, I started watching Minecraft videos in 2012 and 13. And then the minigame started. Minigame days started, I should say, shortly after that. And I was not as interested. One of these days I'll finish Ant Venom's, or I'll finish again Ant Venom's Reliving Minecraft series. I kind of forgot I was in the middle of that. I think I started earlier this year. It's only 18 episodes. That's not true. I think it's only 17 episodes and I did 18. Alright, one more slap. And now we're all good. Hooray. Alright, let's head back. Small community talking peacefully about nerdy stuff. Talking peacefully is hard to find these days. Most of the folks who watch my streams are rather chill. ADHD editing? I thought it was retention editing. That was the term I heard. That could be a more proper term. And just saying ADHD editing is something less formal. Because there was a couple of video essays or so that I remember watching talking about the topic. Mr. Beastified everything. I think people got tired of that, and so I don't know how much that trend's still around here on Tube. I've been recommended less of those types of videos, so I guess that's a positive. Alright, yeah, it's not worth taking on one of these Endermen. By the time I would finish the battle, I would already be over here. Boop. And huzzah! Right where I wanted to be. We can now head on back. Most of the videos that I listen to these days are from folks who do slower content. Train of Thought is a great channel. There's a lot of train or specific locomotive analysis videos. Ocean Liner Designs is also slow in his presentation. You have to block shorts. There was someone, I can't remember who, one of my reviewers not that long ago said that they have a plugin to disable shorts from showing. Long form content is easier to put on for extended periods of time. Oop. That's a buzz. Is that important? Nope. It might have been you that was saying you had the plugin to disable shorts. Oh, yeah, you were asking about what the project I'm working on. This is the Zelenite kill. I'm working on all the shelves. I'm filling in all these with chests. I've not seen enough creatively used shorts. Part of that is I've barely seen any shorts. I'd rather put on something extensive. And boop, boop, boop. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we'll hold on to oak for now. We'll spend all our spruce first. And then because I learned, this definitely saves me time. Do, 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 do. That's not done yet. Alright, we'll start from here. Now, I'll keep working more on the crafting later. Alright, I don't need to build any more shelves. The shelves are done. I'm just working on the chests. This will be the last thing. Hooray! Just need to find where I ran out last time. Looks like it was over here. I don't know who it is that makes weird 3D short animations. There was one 2D animator I saw, but I don't watch their shorts. I watch their short compilations. Over the year, they made about 13 or 14 of them, I think. It was rather short, badoop, to get through them all. Because each compilation video per year is only about 4 or 5 minutes in length. And then hooray, I've caught up all year long. And I wait around for the next year. I feel like there are people, I'm sure this has been going on for years, but I'm sure there are plenty of people, oopsies, who make content on a topic because that topic is currently trending, even though they have no idea about it. Flashback to 2014 and the amount of videos, the amount of FNAF videos that Smike made, even though he didn't touch the game for a good 5 years. Because one day he admitted, yeah, I never played the game before. This is my first time doing it. This was like 2019, I think. So for 5 years or so, he was making videos on something he never experienced himself. Because it got him the views. Those were the days. Apple releasing Tekken 2000s. Insert laugh track here. Don't worry, Ian. Think about it this way. All us youngins will live long enough to turn the internet into something elsewhere, because there will be a day when the boomers are no longer here to have an effect on the internet. We probably won't live long enough. In fact, statistically, we should not live long enough that one day all of Gen Alpha will no longer be having an effect on the internet either. What sort of internet will outlive us? Only speculation for now, as we have a lot of time until then. Hooray, ultimate Minecraft philosophy. Oops. Is that 2 or 3? That one was 2. One more. I should probably estimate. Oh, hold on. I don't think I'll need to estimate. 2, 3. We're almost done. Oh, this is gonna be great, because once I finish this shelf, I just have that next shelf to do. I feel like it's hard to say how much is going to exist in 50 years, because the internet, as what we use today, hasn't been around for 50 years. When did the average website start sprouting up, such as what we still use on today's hardware? In its most basic form, we don't need big complicated stuff. One thing though is that stuff like security protocols change over time. And so old systems will need to make sure to be updated, so that way modern browsers have no problem connecting. Yeah, so I have this shelf. Oh no, I made a mistake. I haven't made a mistake, but I realized this shelf isn't done. Hooray, hooray. I still have enough oak wood to fix this. Alright, I'm not gonna panic yet. Perhaps I don't understand. Feel free to share. Feel like Social Security has their own stuff to maintain. Do they not implement their own security measures? Wait, hold on. Maybe they don't. Didn't all Americans' socials get leaked last year? I'm not misremembering that, right? Stopped being relevant 40 years ago. That's still a dedicated surface. Boop. I should say what social uses it for. Yeah, I finished. I ran out of wood on that shelf. Oops. I have work to do. I'll build the shelf after I keep working on. You know, no, maybe I will just do it now. I don't have the ladders to go up there. Alright, this is going to be a two-part process. Unless... I'm trying to think how to optimally do this. Maybe I'll just come back with ladders later. I don't know what a threadstone is. If this is something that requires CPU threading of sorts, that would be a big no. The oldest still actively maintained website. Nighttime's approaching. I should probably finish this up. There's probably somewhere someone would be keeping track of what the oldest is. You can only have the oldest one time. As time passes, less availability. I'm using multi-MC. I try to avoid the regular launcher for as much as I can, but I have some old instances I still use on there. A technique of world tearing. I don't know what this world tearing is you're talking about. I know something like cross-world commands that's utilized around 1.8. Oh wait, this is the top. Hooray, that's all done, except my only way to get over here is by jumping the gap that I may or may not be able to do again. Alright, let me put this away. Reset the weather timer. Oh wait, no, other way. Boop. You made 1 million blocks of bedrock. This is not telling me how it was created to begin with, though. What was the process required for all this? We're going to start with 2 stacks and then go from here. IMDb was created in '93. People want to know information on Jurassic Park. The world lags on the binary system. This is not something I would do on here. I don't need unobtainables that badly. This series is focused on the collection of different world types. Unobtainables is outside my area of interest in most scenarios. There are plenty of other people welcome to make a series on such topics, as I know there are many, many, many through the version series that I've started as time has passed. Alright, so I need... how many chests? You probably can't use Threadstone on 11W49A anyways, because there's no internal server. I'm pretty sure the internal server discrepancy is where this issue is coming from. Or else it would be harder if everything is all run locally. So I would need 24, 48. I'll need a little bit more. Wait, how many do I need? I need about half a stack or so. This is probably gonna be right about what I need. If I went live in 93, was it locally run before then? Is there not a wiki page that shows oldest maintained sites, or is that what you were looking for? Where you got the list? Oh, that's right, I don't have a way to go up there. The warehouse is massive, except this isn't a warehouse. Welcome to Zelenay Co. Would you like to browse our wide selection of empty chests? We don't have anything in our inventory right now. Come back later. The store is still under construction. Yes, it has been a while. Welcome back. Weren't you here just a few weeks ago, though? We're in 1.17.1. And this was the last one. Alright, cool. We're just about done here. We're gonna come back with a bunch of ladders. Ladders, 2 lamps, and 2 torches. I'm not gonna catch up to modern. This is the last version we're playing. I have one more stream after this, and then UMP's going on break. Yep, 2 lamps, 2 torches. Let's chop all this down real fast. 1.17 was 2021. 1.17 was June 2021. 1.18 was December 2021. 1.17 was the latest version when I started UMP. To think that if I had kept going all the way, if I somehow managed to actually teleport all the way through the versions, this is as far as I would have been able to get. And I think I'm missing a log. I don't know where it ended up though. It's somewhere up there. I'm using performance-based mods because I'd rather the game run better. It's still all vanilla compatible. Is that just Z fighting? Oh yeah, that's Z fighting. At first, I thought the minecart was spasming back and forth. Turns out that's not true. Yeah, I remember my first game, or my first stream on here. I dug out the corner of the world a little bit. I dug out the ravine, and then that was the end of the day. So we started stream 2 with a bunch of Steves around. I built the wall. I think I built the built the tunnel that went straight down my big old void hole. I also worked on a few extra caves, and the castle was the one tree that ended up spawning in it. And then that tree burnt down because, oops. It was supposed to be the oldest tree in the world, and I don't know if the oldest tree in the world is still here or not. It might be gone by now. I don't currently have any plans for duplex ravine, but we'll see if I come up with something by next week. Netherite. I only know titanium. Titanium with a few golden gears attached because I had a big mod idea way back in 2013 and I drew up some concept art. And so, because the way Netherite was implemented, it's very similar to how I wanted the mod to work. What ended up happening is I just replaced everything because it worked out so well. I replaced Netherite with titanium because that's what I had plans, or that's what I plan to do. I'm almost done with the textures. I haven't finished the armor yet. But by next week that should be completed. Alright, I'm looking for my ladders. I'll be playing Instep Plus again when the time properly arises. There's a good chance it'll be after through the Android. Of course, you know, with all the big changes that has been going on, all the big changes online with account management and verification on all that, we'll need to see if I'm still making videos when September rolls around. Or YouTube finally did something that prevented me. But hey, that starts August 13th, and we're going until August 8th. Most of the textures in this resource pack were pulled from old versions of the game, including snapshots. But I do have a moderate amount of custom textures on here. So for YouTube's implementation for US-based folks, the article worded it like they have new technologies. Who knows what that means? They have new technology for testing out different accounts and channels and seeing if they are most likely a teen, ignoring whether or not whatever the age was stated on the account itself. And I forgot the redstone lamps. So we'll need to see on August 13th. There it is, when that change rolls around. Yeah, all these textures I made myself. The titanium tools I created myself because I wanted to make sure that they were as I envisioned. And I feel like we've already started. I don't think there's going to be one day where we wake up, dystopia has fallen on society. I feel like it's going to be, these little things are going to add up over time. And these little things have already started adding up. Alright, see you later, slimes. I probably can't sleep just yet. This is how slimes used to look in Alpha 1.0.12. No, 11, when the slimes were first implemented. This is how they used to look. They were non-transparent. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Living under a rock. Yeah, we'll see. So I guess I got lucky because way back when I was planning out how long this part of UMP would go on for, I wasn't expecting all the internet chaos going on now. So I got lucky that I chose to take August off from streaming, other than a couple minor things in the finale. So I got lucky that I get to take August off and figure out what sort of changes would need to be made on here. This is why for years I've been saying, if YouTube allows me to do so, whenever I talk about upcoming plans. So we'll see. We'll see if Minecraft is flagged as a game for teens, because most of my channel is Minecraft. A good 80 or 90% of it. So we'll see if all the Minecraft videos says, hey, I think you're a teen, even though I've been making videos on here for 10 years now. I can stream other games, and the other games I need to finish are Half-Life and the Portal games. Have I ever played Portal 1? I can't remember. I recorded Portal 1 multiple times, and I can't remember if I ever officially made a series. Alright, let me grab... I should say, let me put away all these planks. In fact, what I'll probably do... No, that would not be the good thing. I'll just take all the spruce out of here. I've already played games so obscure only people who've grown up would play them. It was the games I was playing with a while ago. Hold on, I'm trying to remember. It was SimCity. There we go. SimCity 4 Deluxe. That was one of them. There was also Power Rangers Dino Thunder, and what other Zelanator Plays games did I have? Because I started out with 5. There was Mobile Suit Gundam. That one was supposed to be short, but I didn't realize the story mode on there was so long. Oops. It always just felt like I played the game shorter. I do have a mod for sorting buttons. Do you think I would want to manually sort all this colored glass? That's not fun. I'd rather just press a button. No, I do have a mod. It's called... Inventory Profiles Next. There we go. Because it's not Inventory Tweaks. Inventory Tweaks was last updated years ago. One of these days, I would appreciate if Mojang added a way to sort storage spaces under normal circumstances. Because it's not fun. As much as shift clicking is, and it was a great addition, it's not going to solve the problem of having chests with large amounts of different types of items. And anoink. Inventory Tweaks and Tree Capitator are old. Nowadays we have other mods that replaced them. Because those are the names I remember hearing back when I first started getting into modding. Nowadays you have whatever it is I'm currently using and Tree Chopper, even though Tree Chopper is getting old. And so other stuff has replaced Tree Chopper these days. Kinda like how when I first started playing Minecraft, Too Many Items was the only large scale one then. Then eventually not enough items rolled around and people started using that. And then eventually just enough items came around and people started using that as well. Delete meta-inf and manually install. And hope you don't have any ID conflicts. Because it's terrible for the mods that didn't allow you to change block or item IDs. Because if you had 2 mods with the same IDs, conflict, that wouldn't work. My half door for the other warehouse, that's because it just happened. I didn't do anything with the door. So I finished all that. Next thing, oh, I know what we're gonna do next. With our last 25 minutes. We're gonna grab those shulker boxes again. Just kidding, as we come all the way back here. Swap out to Silk Touch. This guy who started in 1.12. That feels so recent because I think to myself, by the time 1.12 rolled around, I was already on Discord. Because I think that was June 2017. Oh well. I would not move to Twitch if that was a consideration. I feel like I'm not going to return to there after they implemented the change where you could only have up to 100 hours of saved footage on there. Because you used to be able to have as many highlights as you wanted, and so I would save a highlight of every stream. And then they implemented the change where you had to limit it to only 100 hours you can save on there. And so after that was implemented and I had to delete a bunch of stuff off of it, I said, I think I'm gonna not return. And so for now, I don't have any other platform I would jump to immediately. Yeah, you remember the 12A mansion and the 11A castle, sort of, even though it's mostly just a wall and a cobblestone structure in the middle. Yeah, we're going back here because I have a hole I'm digging. I don't know how long Kick saves your stuff on there. I don't see it as a viable long-term solution for the time being. And I probably should have brought a water bucket. Oops. That's okay, I just need to run out of time for the day. And since I need to get this done, we're going to start now. YouTube can afford all the storage because they have Google money. The amount of funding Google has for this and their large-scale projects, this is how they've also funded their AI stuff. I'm not mining a whole chunk. I'm mining 2x2 chunks. If I press a magic button, you could see that this is one chunk, only 1/4. No, I'm digging out 4 of these. I have a plan. Maybe that's one of the things I'll work on, because I still have a plan once this hole is here, because I'm going to end up filling it back in. Yeah, I'm going to mine without a beacon. I don't have any extra beacons. All the beacons are currently in use. Google Money does have Google Money. Google USD. I was going to add on to something with that, but I can't remember. For if things turn for the worst and I don't see regular content here on Tube being viable again after August, I'll probably just do stuff on my own for a while. Because I don't have the storage space to record videos, because I have thought about that as well. At least still recording the content, even if no one sees it, but I don't have the required storage space for something long as what would be equivalent to another series like this. The Zelenite Co. is indeed complete, except I once again forgot the redstone lamps. I'm going to write that down. I'll fix it after the stream, because I don't want to run back. Twitch would not be viable because it's not good for long-term stuff. It's already full on there because I saved some of my streams, some of my original Twitch streams on there. So out of the 100 available hours, Twitch has I think it's in the 80s or 90s that I currently have in use on there. Maybe something like 95. I can't remember, but most of my available time on Twitch is already used up. And so the point of the series would be something to hold on to, not something to create content for. Oh wait, hold on, face this way. Boop. Oh yeah, the cheese counter, since I did forget responding, the cheese counter is there for every time the game is cheesed, all throughout part 4. So there have been 2 Cheez-Its, both of which were early on, and that made me sad. Converting your old hard drive to a USB, wouldn't you need a proper case for it, just for it to sit in? I don't think I've ever bought a case to convert internal hard drives to external. I do, however, have an adapter that reads external drives, the regular SATA drives. I kind of need one for PATA. I just haven't gotten there because I don't know how expensive those are, and I'd really only use it for 1 or 2 of my drives. Going on a normal or a premium account, kind of funny. We were just talking the other day about how there hasn't been a premium Minecraft account for years because that was the original name for it. And then it was switched over to the Mojang account system. More years passed and it became migrating to the Microsoft account system. Anyways, point being, I officially bought an account back in 2012. Yeah, they made beds tile entities. You know that for sure because if you travel far enough away from the bed, it disappears. At the same distance, entities disappear. Same thing with signs and shulker boxes. I have invested a fair amount in USB external drives because those are easier for what I do compared to having more internal. I just haven't had the funds for any new internal drives for a while. Thankfully, I was gifted one earlier this year, and that 4 terabyte drive filled up within a matter of about 2 months. They did something with the bed model. There is some reason they turned it into a tile entity as opposed to having it render as regular blocks. I don't know all the reasons for it though. As 1.12 was also towards the end of the flattening between 1.8 and 1.13. I don't know the technical reason for the change. Can I just leave that? I probably will. It's just one sliver. If you don't want any more emails from Microsoft, there should be a way to block any emails from them. The only problem is sometimes they're useful. Like, what if someone tried getting into your account, but you never received the email saying that, hey, is this you signing in? I don't know how many Minecraft blocks are colorized. I'm pretty sure everything should have been replaced Or everything was used with separate textures. You know, I don't know if that applies to sheep. I can't remember. What about the one slur and the Lorax joke? Because I think I missed something. Oh, yeah, 15 minutes. Hooray, because I'm getting hungry. It'll be time for lunch after this. Oh, once less. I said once less. That might not be what I was trying to say, but I don't know what I really said. I don't keep track of everything. Every word spoken. Do you know how many words the average person speaks in a day? I don't. I never looked into that statistic. Do you know how tiring it would be, though? Keeping track? That's unfortunate. Do you know how tiring, though, would be trying to keep track of every word someone speaks to know what the average is? One sliver. Once less. Oh, I see. That makes sense. I don't know what today's lunch is. I'll see what's in the fridge. I'll know what's in the fridge when I get to the fridge. I don't have a fridge in here. As convenient as it would be to have a mini fridge in my room, it's not practical enough because I don't keep cold drink, or I should say I don't often drink cold drinks. Alright, that one's all done. Hooray! So we're gonna head on to you real fast. Toss all that. Time for round 2. I'll just deal with the lava for now and then get rid of it later. Gold drinks. Insert joke here. Point being, the water I often consume is room temperature. I have indeed passed the legal drinking age here in America. I just don't know how to prove that. We'll see if YouTube even wants verification. For all I know, nothing happens. September rolls around and I just keep doing what I usually do. I don't need a beacon this badly. I've tried collecting wither skulls, and I got lucky. There was a recent nether fortress where I was able to acquire a whopping 30 wither skulls. Hooray! It only took... How many hours was I there? I don't think any more than 3 or 4 hours maximum. I'd say that's pretty decent. Well, no, I don't have any plans to get any beacon. Plus the amount of time I'd take to construct and deconstruct. I don't think destruct is a word. Destruction is. I don't think that's the opposite of construct. Anyways, I'll come back with a water bucket later, because that's how I'll turn the lava into obsidian. I wonder if I'll get far enough where I'll be able to meet up on the side of that. Keep expanding the staircase. Oops. There's indeed 10 minutes left. We are nearing the end of today. Party potato. Potato, if you're still here watching, say party. Sometimes I don't know who just has these streams on in the background or who leaves. Yeah, while I'm here, I'm also going to press that button. Turns out that the top fans list only goes up to 50 people. I never realized that. I would have assumed there was no limit. But now I know it goes up to 50 people because I finally looked into the thingy. Alright, still here listening. I've said plenty of times before, my streams work great for background audio. This also goes back to what I've said before, where the type of content I make is often the type of content I would watch or listen to. And I listen to a lot of stuff that would work well for background audio, because that's what I often use it for. All the video essays and analysis videos of the channels I mentioned earlier. And so, I end up making the content that I would want to make, or want to enjoy. Now that's all taken care of. We'll catch some Z's, reset the weather timer. There should be a way to change the liquid model. One of the things I need to do that I haven't done yet is I need to animate. No, wait, we'll sleep. I need to animate the lava and water texture because they're using the original. Oh, change it to the blocky one. That's what you were saying. As cool as that would be, I don't have a follow-up to that because it's just a cube minus layers. I'm trying to think because are there any block models you can no longer modify or you can't modify? Because for a while you used to not be able to change stuff like liquids or the nether portal texture, compass and clock, because those textures were generated at runtime. But I don't know how many textures are generated at runtime anymore. I don't plan on keeping the lava pool. The lava pool needs to go. It might be able to stay based on what I have plans for this area, but I'd rather clean it out so that way I could start with a fresh area. And while I'm here, we're going to work up on all this. We're going to go back and forth. That way I'm prepared for the staircase. I'll probably fill that one up and then bring that together as one stack. So then once this stack fills up, I'll switch over to the fortune pickaxe and start using that one to collect cobblestone. I just want to maximize the storage space first. This is the default texture because you could see these are the old planks, or sorry, these are the new planks that were used in, I think 1.12. Oops. Or 1.14. I don't know. I haven't adjusted the bed texture in a while. I'm pretty sure this is whatever texture I pulled that was around in 1.12, and it's not using the plank texture I have, because I want to switch over the sign texture to my plank and log texture. I haven't gotten around to doing that yet, though. Eventually, I'll change the signs, and I'll also change the bottom of beds. For now, I just use the 1.16 sign textures because in 1.17, the sign textures were Jopified, and I said nope. So those have been reverted back. I haven't committed the changes yet, though. I'm still in the middle of working on the resource pack, so I haven't compiled the dedicated version yet. I'm going to make sure to get that done by the time the next stream rolls around, which is why I already started work on updating the armor textures because those for sure need to be updated. Probably should have left that. That's alrighty. Alright, while we're here, just working on that. What did YouTube censor? You can try again. Or try saying it one word at a time. Sometimes the tube blocks words, sometimes it blocks phrases, and it's hard to figure out what phrase it blocks when each word sends individually. I feel like there's a lot for Linux to learn. I feel like you're gonna continually be learning it so long as you stick using it. Nothing we can do about the Japification these days. Not in vanilla Minecraft. So the way I get around is I'm just gonna keep using old textures. Alright, where else? I want to dig up all these ores now and just get rid of them. That way, next time I start digging, it'll be easier to only focus on stone. Oop, almost there. And there's also coal in the corner as we wrap it up for today. Joppa or Jasper something something is the guy who made the textures for 1.14. Joppa is his Minecraft and online name. So whenever I talk about Joppa textures, I talk about the textures he made in 1.14 and later. I feel like Method would have a better way of explaining without being attacked by the tube. Boop. The urge to try to maximize space. Now, by the way, we are... I guess we'll... Oh, wait, hold up. Boop, boop. We're gonna go on there. And on... Oh, hold on, just kidding. I was gonna say on to the next level, but I realized that's not true. Turns out there are multiple cave systems I haven't explored here, because there was this one, and then I ran into the other one over there. Not in overtime yet. My clock still says 59, but yeah, if y'all do have any final thoughts, start saying them now, as we'll prepare for the last stream next week. Well, I guess next weekend. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish up this row, and I'll try to figure out something big, because it'll be big finale of part 4, and it'll also be an extended stream. That way I have enough time to do all the things that need to be done. So yeah, that is indeed all it for today. Thank you all for watching. Bye.